Hey everyone, so today we're going to see how to manage file downloads with Selenium Grid. And we'll be specifically using the Selenium 4.9.0 version because this feature of auto downloads is only included in that version. Before that, there was no such feature like that. Now, let's talk about a little bit about the problem first. Now, the problem with Selenium version, Selenium Grid versions before was that whenever you needed to make a file download with Selenium Grid, uh, let's say now you have a hub here, all right, and your JVM is running on this machine, but this machine has different machines connected to it. Let's say this one, and this one, all right. Now, when you're running your test automation script, your browser can be open on any node, whether it's this node 1, node 2, or node 3, all right. And let's say it gets downloaded on the node 2, on the second node. So how will JVM actually interact with that node? There's no such functionality like that because your Java code, your JVM is running on your hub, right? So there was no way to manage file downloads before this version. But what these folks have done in this 4.9.0 version is that they have provided a way to actually interact with the files downloaded. So what it actually does is that they have provided an endpoint internally where they take the file from the node and they actually send it to the hub. And I'll show you how it is done. So this is my grid up and running on my local host 4444, right? And since you're watching this video, I guess you already know enough of Grid so that like you can start Grid servers on your own and get it up and running. So this is the endpoint they have provided. All right. So session, and then this is your session ID. You can get it from the Grid URL, the local host 4444/UI. And this SE files, this endpoint actually lists the file that gets downloaded your session when your test is running, all right? So one browser counts as one session. Now let's say I click on a file download and it gets downloaded, all right? So that file with that particular name, it could be anything, whether it's file sample, PDF, it could be xyz.pdf, whatever that file name is, it will appear in this JSON format in your session. Now, what they will do is that they will take this file from this list of names and they'll make a post request to the hub and they will zip the contents. And then when it reaches to the hub, it will get unzipped automatically. And then you can parse that file, you can read that file, you can do whatever. All right. Now we're going to see how it is actually done in the code. Okay. But first, let me show you where these files are actually created in your PC, all right, in your laptop or whatever. So it by default gets downloaded in the downloads. It creates a grid nodes folder. And you can see grid nodes has different subfolders of different session IDs, right? So let's say if I open this session ID, you can see that this is a file downloaded in session ID, in this session ID. Like if there were 10 other files downloaded here, they would have been listed here, okay? So similarly, if I open another session, you can see there's a file sample .pdf downloaded, what we were looking at in the browser, all right? Now, without any further ado, let's jump into the code and I'll run it in debug mode. I won't write it in front of you and I'll leave the code, a GitHub gist in the description. All right. So let's go ahead. My grid is already up and running on my localhost 4442. Let me show you. All right. So it's here and let's go ahead. So let me give you a little bit overview of the code. Okay. This part, as you can already see, this deals with the basic Selenium stuff. Now, the important part here is this thing. You need to add this Chrome preferences of Open PDF externally. You need to add this plugin always Open PDF externally. Why? Because if you don't add this, Chrome will not download your file, but it will just, open it in your new tab. And you don't want that in your test. You just want to download it and not open it in a new tab. And this particular flag, this capability, the SE downloads enable true. You need to set it to true. You need to add this capability. Otherwise, it would not, list that file in the session SE files. All right. And this is basically, I'm just declaring my localhost 4444 grid URI here, initializing the web driver, and I'm getting the URL. I guess it's pretty self-explanatory. Now let's go ahead and put a breakpoint here where this grid code starts. All right. This is the part actually. Let me just explain. This part over here. This deals with the file management. All right. So let's go ahead and debug. So it will just stop when a file is available in the SE files endpoint. And I'll show you manually that it is actually available. Right. So it goes here, downloads this file. Now it's going to wait for 15 seconds. Why? Because this file is downloaded and we don't have a confirmation yet that, oh, you know what, that this file is downloaded, like there's a notification or something like that. So there's no other option to, put a hard sleep. All right. Now let's jump into the code. So you can see that it is initializing the HTTP client here with the try with resources since it's auto closable. All right. Let's go ahead. Now this part over here, it makes an HTTP GET request. You can see it here to the grid URL. All right. The local host 4444 and this endpoint session, my session ID and the files endpoint. Now let's copy this and let's actually see that if our file is available in there. Okay. So session and SC and then files. All right. So you can see that this deneme.txt is available here. And this is the file that was actually downloaded. And this is also present in our session ID. Okay. Now going back to the code, this makes a GET request and it returns this JSON. All right. How do I know that? Let me just show you this. This response is returning us this JSON. All right. So now what it will do in this part of the code, it will give me the names value. It will give me this list that contains this dname.txt. All right. So let's go ahead. And you can see size is 1 now of this list, map.get values. Now I have the file with me. I am just declaring a for loop here. I'm checking if my file is actually downloaded. You can, customize this condition according to your requirements, whether you want to check for a null or a duplicate file, whatever. So basically this try block over here, this gave us the file that was present in the SE files endpoint. All right. So our file name. Now what this second try block will do, it will actually make a post request. All right. So again, it will initialize the HTTP client with a try with resources auto closable block. Now it will, you see, it will make a post request to this URI, the grid URI, the hub URL actually. And in a real world scenario, this will be a public grid URL. It won't be a local host or a local IP address. All right. You can see it is setting the contents. All right. And again, it's just dealing with the JSON here. I won't show you like how it's doing it in the inside. All right. You can just copy paste this code, but this is dealing with the JSON part here. Now what this does is that it sends the file contents as an encoded value. All right. Because how else would it send the file from the node to the hub, from one machine to another machine. All right. So it sends the file in the encoded value and it sends a zipped file. And when the file reaches the hub, it automatically gets unzipped. All right. Now let's go ahead. You can see the encoded contents here, and these will automatically get unzipped and I'll be able to read my file. All right. So I'll just stop the debugger, go ahead, and you'll see done with grid block session 5. Okay. So that's all for this video. And like I said, I will leave a GitHub gist. And if you like this video, well, do like and subscribe to this channel. Thank you so much.